Hey all, Hipper here. So things are on fire in the Hipper household because we are putting agile builds on ship we don't normally play with agile builds, like for example the Moines. With a Beepley here, with a Rune and Baltimore as inspirations, all rudder perks, and on the ship we have the improved turret rotation and double rudder. And that's an agile Moines, ladies and gentlemen, and it actually works pretty well. There's no need for, putting other builds on if you like this build. As you'll see, we have 1.9 rudder and 38 knots. Now this looks fast and agile, and it is, but same as Baltimore, it doesn't feel as quick as it should, and that's the problem with Moines. And then of course the additional problem is that you don't have torpedoes, so you can get caught in nasty situations. So we're just gonna have a little bit of a command wheel feud with the division over there before we start. But as you can see, this is a 6 versus 6, and this is what we really like. And it's totally random. I picked Des Moines. I would do one agile battle in it, and I just get the perfect map and the perfect amount of players. Like 6 players is excellent, because the fewer ships in a battle, the more powerful cruisers become, and that's extra extra powerful for agile cruisers. So this is excellent. So we're heading straight for the A-cap to see if we can't surprise a nasty, unfortunate destroyer. So we happen to have a Kleber on the red team, and that is a really fast destroyer. And if he's spawned over on this flank, I'm certain that he's gonna go for A, because in Kleber you can get into A and you can cap it, you can get out again, usually before anyone else gets in there. Except for an agile Des Moines. So we're steaming straight ahead here. We're trying to keep the speed as high as possible, keeping it at 37 plus, which is, not super fast, but it's certainly faster than a stock Des Moines. Now, my destroyer that I spawned with over here, he seems awake, and he answered when I was, pointing on the map. So I put a lot of faith in him in this game here, and he actually does extremely well. And I also obviously sent him a message after saying thank you, because I couldn't have done this without him. The battleship, on the other hand, yeah, the less said the better, right? But as usual, like battleships, they might as well not be in the game, because they, like, in general, they're just so bad. So anyway, there's someone in A, and we're going to pop around this corner, and then we're going to see if we get spotted. If we don't get spotted, then we're going to wait until we get spotted, and then we're going to see if we actually can spot the destroyer, because we want to save the radar for as long as possible, because we need to get this guy in the first, attempt here. There he is, and he's all the way over on this side, so that means that I don't even have to use my radar. Just pop the sonar for torpedoes, and he's way too early on those torpedoes there, but he's probably used to a non-agile Des Moines, right? A non-agile Des Moines will probably struggle a little bit more. He was still early though, and he's gonna fire his last set there, and again we can just avoid them very, very easily. And then there's some panic gunfire there, and that's the end of Mr. Kleber. So this flank here is won easy, and both destroyers are down, which is really good. The first 3 minutes of the game. So I mean, we're off to a really good start here, as they say. So both myself and the destroyer, we have ample time to cap here, and the Starling Guard is moving in, which is also a little bit weird. So that means that there's really no one around to defend B. Now there is a missing Alaska somewhere that I don't know where is. I was just checking the map. I was wondering, well, I wonder where he is. He hasn't been spotted yet. So again, I'm just asking the DD. It's safe out there. You go out. If you go out, I will protect you. So he gets that. And I have a radar as well. So if I have to spot that Stalingrad on the other side, I can even do that. But there's not much risk to the DD. There's no other destroyers. And the Stalingrad is accounted for. He may be able to radar the DD, but he won't be able to shoot at it. At least as long as I'm here. The Alaska is unspotted. So I'm guessing that he's probably started at B somewhere, which also means that he's well without radar range, so there's no risk to my destroyer. So again, cast your eyes on the battleship I spawned with, and I mean, what is going on? We are 5 minutes into the game, and this guy here, I don't think he's even fired his guns. He's hardly moved, and he's put himself in a weird spot where he can't shoot at anything. So yeah, that's, you know, your typical battleship right there. And when I say that the worst players in the game are battleship players, I absolutely mean it, because they really are terrible at times. I mean, there's bad players in cruisers and destroyers as well, but in every battle, every battle, you will always have at least one, usually a lot more than that, probably 2 or 3, like absolutely horrible battleship players, like terrible battleship players, who's just got their Iwami out of the campaign and you know, have taken it out and just go broadside to everything and try to torp destroyers. And I was like, oh my, like it's wild out there, boys. So as you can tell, the Alaska has come out of hiding, and he's making a huge mistake in joining his friends over at sea, because that means we will have all red ships, you know, closed in on 1/3 of the map, which makes our job so much easier. Especially because we have like a very questionable battleship over here that cannot be relied on at all. Like if the Alaska had gone the other way, and you know, set up shop over at A somewhere and cover the B cap, well, things would be a lot more difficult for us, especially me, because I wouldn't be able to push out like this, because I would be, you know, broadside onto an Alaska, which I don't want to be. So I'm not gonna say someone, you know, threw this game on the red team, but that play by the Alaska was definitely not the best play. Let's put it like that. So now we have all the red ships over on the other side of the mountains, and okay, well, that's excellent. Now, even if they take the cap over there, it doesn't matter at all, because we have 2 caps. And pushing through these mountains here is very difficult. Especially since we do have a battleship over here. Like, he doesn't do much, but I mean, the Reds don't know that. At least not yet. I don't think they've seen him shoot. So they're probably going to be a little bit careful if they have to push through. So at least we can use him as, you know, a scarecrow or something like that. Because he's not gonna actually do anything useful. So again, my Kitakaze friend here, he just goes around the corner. Genki, he's called. I don't know, never seen him before. Don't know who he is, but very, very helpful. And like I said, I'd say that most of this battle here is really his doing, because he is just doing really well, spotting very, very nicely. And he also ends up second on the team, as far as I remember. So he spots the Alaska. I'm unspotted over here at the B cap, and I'm not going to push any further, because like I said, there's really no point in pushing here. I mean, we have the Reds where we want them. There's only 2 left, and you know, even if they take the C cap and they set up shop over there and, you know, roast some sausages and have a good time, they're going to lose anyway. And if they try to push through, that's when, at least at this point in the battle, I will actually do something. But right now I'm happy just to sit here unspotted, setting fires on the Alaska while he's you know, panicking around the map. And that's another thing that you know, if you play in a division with a cruiser and you have a destroyer to spot for you, like, the game is just entirely different. Because as an Agile cruiser, you don't have to spot for yourself, and you have a destroyer you can rely on, and you know, high damage games are much easier to get that way. It's pretty much like night and day. And you know, as an Agile Des Moines, it's actually a lot more fun to play than the usual. I usually use Montpellier, the anti-dispersion commander on my Des Moines, and that works excellent. It's a really good commander for this ship here. But it does tend to get a little boring when you're just sitting there bow on, and you know, putting all your faith in the bad dispersion you're giving the enemies. You don't really have to do anything. You just have to find a good spot, and then you sit there and you shoot the ships and set them on fire. That's it. And at least with an Agile Des Moines, you can actually, you know, do stuff. You can get out be a little bit more active, and you know, get out and, you know, play in the forest, play in the leaves, and jump around and stuff like that. Instead of just, you know, marking a spot on the map and sit there and just shoot at whoever's spotted. That's, if I had to do that the whole time in this game here, I would not be playing this game here. That's very, very simple. So unfortunately, the Kitakaze buys it there. I told him to spot. He tried to do it, and I'm not gonna say it's my fault, because He could have just, you know, been a little bit more careful. But yeah, there was, I don't know. Who knows? It was unfortunate. But he did a really good job up until then. And since we don't have any spotting over on that side now, I'm just going to, you know, let time, you know, flow for a little bit. Because I think the battleship is heading down this way here. So I'm just going to push out here in the open water and just have a bit of a look. Because my radar is almost there. But then I see the spotter plane and I go, oh, okay, he's coming around here just in a little bit. And that means that we can, at the very least, we can reset the cap, get some XP that way. Maybe we can set a fire, and maybe we can even sink him. So there he is. And this is where the Agile Des Moines comes in. Woo! We just fit right in between his salvos. He doesn't even, well, I don't even know if he hits me, but certainly nothing painful for me. And now I have all the time in the world to burn this guy down here to his socks. Because he's on reload for probably 25 seconds. The Alaska tries to help him out, but it is too late because he's on fire. And that's the end of Mr. Yamato. So the battleship tries to yoink the kill there as usual. That's another sign of like terrible battleship players. Because they just sit there and they just wait for ships to be down to 1%. And then they use a whole battleship salvo. A whole battleship salvo. On, you know, yoinking the last 1% of a ship or something, and they totally ignore, for example, a broadside, whatever, Alaska right next to it at full health, because they want the kills, and kills mean, well, they don't mean nothing, but they're certainly not as important as yoinking 50% of a full health battleship. So yeah, that's just, yeah, another rant on battleship players there. It's been really bad lately, and I think it's because the campaign ship is a battleship. And, you know, all the potatoes are out in it, and they're all, you know, trying to die in the most ridiculous ways, and they succeed. And it's just painful for people just trying to play this game here in any sort of normal way. So I just switched to AP here, because I want him to go bow in, and he goes, uh-oh, AP, I'm going to go bow in. I was like, excellent, that's exactly what I want, because it's much easier to just fire right at his nose here. So, we got a fire on the Alaska here, and I mean, if you saw my last Des Moines, it was actually an Agile Des Moines as well. Agile Des Moines versus Alaska video, this only goes one way, even when there's no need to be agile, because at this distance here, agility is not going to help you, and you're still going to win. It's not really a contest at all. So that was an Agile Des Moines, actually quite a good ship. Nothing wrong with it at all, and the build as well, not bad. So 3600, and hope you enjoyed it. See you out there.